Let's give me one quick second here, and then we'll jump right into it. But yeah, it's just since we're going to get started in a more official capacity, I'll shoot a welcome out to those of you from YouTube. I will post this hopefully in a relatively timely fashion. I haven't been the best in the last couple ones. Just have a few other logistical things going on right now. But yeah, welcome from YouTube. If you don't mind to subscribe to our channel, it certainly helps us kind of expand the word of the Foxes, if you will, into the YouTube verse, and we'll kind of dive right into it. So the way that I like to run these is I like to throw out the updates that we've done since our last chat, some highlights on what's really going on for the upcoming week, and then kind of open it up to any kind of Q&A from anyone that's out there in the Twitterverse that's around to ask questions about us, about what's going on coming up. And then we'll kind of go from there. So if it ends early, it ends early. And you guys will get the rest of your Sunday/Father's Day back. And so we'll just jump right into it. So as far as jumping into our quality of life updates, so Foxy Suite, we've added an attribute filter to it. So that way you can go through and select specific attributes you're looking for sweeping. And then we also added in for both Foxy Sweep and Foxy Bid. Sorry, I got my little alpha caller here, showing the ranks. So between Foxy Sweep and Foxy Bid for How Rare and Moon Rank. And then Raffle also shows the NFT floor price and the value of the total tickets sold. So there was a question. There've been a lot of questions around that. So that second value that that shows there is based off of all of the tickets that somebody has listed for their raffle, if they all sell. So it's not what the current amount that's sold is valued at. It's what the total is. Give me one quick second here. So yeah, so that's just to showcase, just to give people ideas from a statistical side of things. You know, what your odds are if you were to buy, all the tickets, like how much more over floor price, you're basically paying for it, and some things to consider with those values. Obviously, the closer to the floor price, it means the better the deal you're getting for each individual ticket that you buy. The exception is certainly with rares, and she would also agree with me. Yeah. The exception is with rares. So rares are obviously worth more than what the floor price is. I'm getting rugged here pretty good, aren't I? But yeah, so you just have to be careful when you're buying the tickets for ones that are, crazy overpriced. Just in the event that someone decides they want to buy up a better portion of the supply that's remaining, you don't want to basically get kind of screwed over for it, because that's been the one issue that we're trying to solve by putting out more information, is just to prevent the gaming for raffles, as people have seen in the past happen. Let's see. We did update too for anyone that's going through raffles that are kind of like checking them out to see the data that's associated with them for anyone that might possibly be gaming them. We did switch to Solana.fm. So that's just a different way of getting the information for the individual transactions that's on there. It's very similar to SolScan, but it's just a bit different. And that was developed too by a Fox, so we just wanted to kind of show our support there. We have been kind of providing some information on our side too, to kind of give them updates to be able to make it a bit easier for us kind of navigating around, and to help out others that are also in the space that are using it as a tool, because that's quite helpful in general for improving our efficiencies, but also to give a little bit more transparency for everyone else as well. Let's see, we just wrapped up our second week of Bitmon missions, along with all of our other missions. So huge shout out to Busto and his team over there for letting us do a collaboration with them for 2 weeks. So hopefully everyone was able to kind of participate in that one way or another. So shout out to Bustos' team. And we had our Zen Fox auction that went to a winning bidder for us. 666,666 Foxy. But yeah, that was for the Zen Fox. And big thanks to FoxyDAO for making that. That's one of that's I believe our second animated transdimensional fox. It was done in quite an awesome fashion. So huge shout out to FoxyDAO for that. And then I also put an update for our NFT NYC activities. For those of you that are going to be out at NFT NYC next week. So like Corey was in here earlier. So Corey from Honeyland, I'm sure he's still in here, but he's probably further down in the stack. They are the ones that are providing, everything for the Monday party. So it's party between Honeyland, Foxes, and Grim Syndicates. So that goes from 8 o'clock at night to 2 in the morning. For those of you that are going to be able to handle that whole time, I'm going to see. I don't know if I'm up for a full 6 hours, but we'll see. We'll try to be there as long as we can. But that's our activity that we have at least planned for Monday, outside of all the other things that are going on. Tuesday is a much smaller event. That's with Matrica Labs and Galactic Space Geckos. So that's a smaller event. It's around 6 o'clock at night to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And then the biggest party that we're going to be attending, the DJ and Yacht Party, which we are one of the co-sponsors for with Magic Eden Yacht Party there. That's on Wednesday. That too starts at 8 o'clock at night for VIPs. It starts at 9 o'clock at night for general admission. And the way that works, just for anyone here that's going that might not be too sure about it, and I'll post more details as well. But basically, VIPs can get in at 8. Anyone that's general admission can get in at 9. The boat stays docked until 11:30. At 11:30, they're setting sail to do, I believe, a Statue of Liberty round, and then come back, which, to my knowledge, they're going to be out at sea for 2 hours total. So you'll get docked back around 1:30-ish in the morning. So for anyone that is planning on attending that and is planning on also going out at sea with them, just keep in mind that we'll be for 2 hours, so you won't get back until 1:30 in the morning. We do have registrations set up for those. So the one thing that I'll just do as a shout out for anyone that is planning on attending those, just to make sure that you do register for them if you've won spots for it prior to the event coming up. Actually, by today, if you can, if I haven't reached out to you, or if you see your name in the stack and you haven't registered for it and I haven't given you the information for it, just make sure you do reach out to me to get that registration information. I'll double check through my whole list. I'll say after our space is here, and I'll make sure to provide that registration information for the people that are left on the list that haven't done so yet. And that way we try to get everyone that has won those the opportunity to at least try and sign up. The one thing that I'm definitely not tolerating, because I saw someone do it, even if it was by a joke, is someone trying to sell a slot to the yacht party. Like that's not how this is going to work for anyone that wants to try to do that from our tickets. So please don't try to sell your tickets. If I find out, I'm just going to remove the person's spot and give it to somebody else. But just figured I'd shoot that out there for anyone else that has won a ticket and is interested in going. Let's see, the last update that went out midweek this week, starting off with Ding, does show the date in the metadata. As far as quality of life goes, we did push out the ability to buy fame up to level 40 to start. So level 40 is going to be the first level of upgrades that we're going to allow people to purchase with Foxy once we have the full first set of tiers done and pushed out. So we did unlock the ability for you to buy that fame. It does cost, I believe it's 3 Foxy per fame at that current scale. Now, a lot of people might think that that's not that much. It's a pretty good bit if you look at the total amount compared to the amount that foxes generate every day. So it might not be a crazy amount, but if you look at the total number of foxes and their abilities to get to those levels, it certainly does add up pretty quickly. So yes, we did that up to level 40. And let's see, our homepage was finally updated. So that was one of the bigger pushes that we had that I was most excited about, was just to see the update on our homepage. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to go there. Actually, it's been funny seeing some of the people that were on our site, and then after we did the update, like they did a refresh, or they clicked on a button to go to a different tool, and then when they came back, it was completely different for them, because one of the things that we're more well known for is doing things and then saying we're going to do them. So yeah, our homepage has been updated. If you haven't checked it out, I certainly recommend going to check it out. It actually was kind of like updated a few times to get the exact look that we were going for. So it might look a little bit different now than it did when we first did it, but still a pretty huge upgrade. So shout outs to Meditating Sloth, as well as, there were multiple people that were really behind it. Meditating Sloth, this really helped out with the coding side. So really shout out to, I'll say, the rest of the creatives on our Fox team, for the ideas, for getting all that kind of stuff together. I know it's not easy. It does take some time. And, we're all about trying to do it right versus just do it. So yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to our Foxy team there. As far as the missions go for today, today we have a joint. Hey, that's okay. Today we have a joint mission for FoxyDAO. Give me a second. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we have our first joint collab mission with FoxyDAO. So it's going to require any Fox shirt, t-shirt, hoodie, cap, or hat that's level 5 plus and 1 SMB. Then we have, I think, 5 other missions. So one that's a tank top, level 8 plus, one that's a t-shirt, level 8 plus, one that's a FASA, level 8 plus, a Safari, level 8 plus, and Safari Den, and then 2 foxes, two of any foxes that are level 5 plus, and then 1 mutant and 1 scar, both that are level 8 plus. So we've been adding in more level gating for missions, essentially to kind of give a little bit more fame for those that are participating in missions. But yeah, just to kind of give a shout out to FoxyDev for setting up all of our missions, and getting those pushed out for the community. And probably one of the bigger announcements too is our first raid mission. So that'll be going out today as well. This one is to do with Centurions. So anyone that has a Centurion helmet, you'll be able to add your Fox to the raid mission. There will be multiple Foxes that can go on raid missions, and you'll be eligible, for those of you that do participate in it, for, I believe it's 1,000 fame and a rare chest. And a rare chest essentially just has a different drop table associated to it to give more rewards versus just like the Foxy angle for the reward side that we've been doing. So just a shout out to FoxyDev for getting that set up. I know that was not easy, especially with everything that's been going on with raffles on top of it. So we're definitely looking forward to pushing out our first raid mission. And then the last update that I have written down here is just the community vote, our DAO vote that we did for the Duppies whitelists allocation. So what we voted on basically was that we have we brought in over 20,000 dust from our raffle platform, and essentially all of those fees that we bring in there are meant for foxes, for what we want to kind of give back to the community for. And so we did a vote to see how many people were interested in us allocating a portion or the whole lot of that dust to the whitelist allocation for Duppies. And so it was, I'm not going to call it a 3-way tie. It was very close, I'll say, between like the extreme points of allocating everything, allocating nothing, and then allocating basically like 50-50. And what ended up winning was allocating everything to the Duffy's whitelists. So just a heads up for anyone that does see that, we will be allocating that 20,000 dust to the Duffy's whitelist pool, just to kind of give some additional opportunities for foxes to get on the Duffy's whitelist if you're so interested in minting it. We will also still have a raffle within the community side, because we still will be using, Foxy essentially have a Foxy burn around, those rewards that we do give out. Be kind of no different than us doing a raffle for the prizes that we would allocate the soul for. And just wanted to kind of throw that out to the community for those of you that are interested in obtaining any of those W waitlist slots. I'm not sure how many slots we'll end up getting. That has been ever changing since they started that up. It's kind of part of their game there, if you will. Just because their main goal, of course, is to have as much dust possible come in from other communities into that pool, and then they have an allocation. I believe it's 1,500 total whitelist slots for giving that out to members based off of the dust that gets put into that specific pool. So, one quick second here. So those are the main highlights for the week. There's a lot there. We were able to kind of get through quite a bit. I think the one thing, for us is just our roadmap 2.0. We're just finishing up, most of those items. There's a few more left that are on it. But we've just been making some pretty solid progress all around with what we've been building. I will kind of throw it out there too that raffle has certainly become a bit more logistics and hands-on than we kind of anticipated from when we had first started it. So for anyone that was thinking that we'd either be further along than we are, or something along those lines, I'm not going to blame Raffle, but I'm just going to say that Raffle definitely has taken it more time than we had initially anticipated. But at the end of the day, I think the one good thing is that we are certainly improving Raffle. I think there are a lot of other projects and communities that might be interested in kind of having their own Raffle platform and such. And I think, if nothing else, like our platform, the way that we're kind of doing updates and adding transparency and all that kind of fun stuff really is hopefully setting the mark for every other community that wants to do this before they kind of put themselves into a more precarious situation than what we even have, by just kind of letting people do whatever they want for raffles, just because it's a very complicated system. And I think people are interested in it. It does seem that, there's a lot of demand, and yeah, so I mean, we just had a lot of things kind of go on this week. So I'll kind of pause there. I'll open it up for any kinds of questions, if anyone has questions, and if not, I'll kind of talk a little bit about my approach to NFT NYC for anyone that's going to be in here. That's going to NFT NYC and is interested in meeting up or trying to figure out how to handle NFT NYC. I don't mind that at all, but I kind of figured I'd just throw it out there for anyone that is interested. And I'm not seeing anyone come up. So NFT NYC starts up. I think they actually had events that started up on Friday, and there have been Friday and Saturday. I think there were a few different things going on. A second here. All right. And so, I think there have been events that have been going on all weekend, and I know that the main show really starts up tomorrow. I believe registration starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, so anyone that's getting there, I believe that's for the full 15,000 people that are attending. So I would say to get there early. I'm going to assume, there's going to be a line and people waiting and all that kind of fun stuff. But so registration starts at 11 tomorrow, and then there's general sessions that are going on tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm only going to be there until the end of the Magic Eden party on Wednesday. But like I said, we have different events every day. So Monday night, 8 o'clock to 2 in the morning with Honeyland and Grimm's. Details for that are in our Discord under our DAO Run Activities section. So for anyone that's a Pixel Fox holder or Famous Fox holder, you'll be able to see those details. And I believe we've also pushed it out via Twitter. Just kind of give a little bit of a shout out to the Honeyland team. Tuesday night, there's actually 2 different events. So we've gotten 10 slots. And then Portals was nice enough to give us an additional 20 slots for the Wobblebug Astral party. That's later on, but we have our party with Matrica, Galactic Space Geckos, at 6 to 8 at night on Tuesday. And then there is, like I mentioned, that Wobblebugs Astrals party. I think that starts at 10 o'clock at night, and that will run till like 2-ish in the morning. So I'm not sure what general sessions I'll be going to on Tuesday, but definitely going to be heading to those events. And then on Wednesday, I do know that I'm planning on meeting some people, especially for like Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. There've been people that have just reached out and they're like, "Hey, I know you're going. Can we kind of chat?" And I'll say like a quieter area because I have no idea what to expect for these kinds of parties. I'm going to assume it's just going to be loud and crazy the whole time, but we'll see. And so Wednesday, there are a lot of different events that are going on. The ones that I'll be attending, there's a Solana Monkey Business and Serum party, I believe it is, or get together at the beer garden, which starts at 4:30. And then we'll be doing dinner prior to the Magic Eden party. And then Magic Eden starts up at 8 o'clock for VIPs and for us to get on there, get our stuff set up, and then kind of go from there. And then, be heading out after that event ends on Wednesday night / Thursday morning, essentially. So I'll be missing out on the very last day. But yeah, the one thing that I'll say, I know I mentioned it a bit earlier. I know we've got a lot more people in here from when we first started. We do have an NFT NYC Fox thread in the Fox Meetups section. So I did add in the Fox Meetups channel a reaction role. I pinned it that you can get that NFT NYC role for Foxes. If you're at NFT NYC and you want to get pinged for certain things, like I'm going to use that to kind of ping people. If you're not an NFT NYC and you want to just get updates or have other people kind of ping you or just be part of like those notifications, you certainly can. And so I would sign up for that role. And I'm planning on using that for basically doing the pings at NFT NYC. So for anyone that just wants to get updates, feel free to add that role in. Again, it's in the Fox Meetup section, which is buried into our DAO. So it will be for Fox holders only, but that's just the way we kind of want to set things up for the event itself. So it's kind of a good rundown, I think, for how the week's going to go. I think it's going to be nuts. There's a ton of people registered, and I even hear about more people that are not registered. So I have no idea how many people are really going to be at this, but it's going to be quite massive. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with a lot of people in the space, at events, outside of events, just to kind of see really what's going on at NFT NYC and really, I'll say get like our first bigger event under our belt for us attending, which should be pretty fun. So I'll reopen it back up for questions. I don't see anyone else requesting to come up here, but that's basically the rundown on the events from last week and us going into this week. We've got a lot more fun stuff going on, I'll say, with our roadmap 2.0. So that's certainly still under progress. And we're kind of working on wrapping up all the loose ends for that, so to speak. And I know I mentioned a little bit earlier on merch, so this is like another highlight I can do on that. We're just waiting for samples from our vendor to kind of get that going. We're up to the point where we have all the pieces, at least our initial pieces, selected. Just waiting for samples to arrive to kind of quality check, and then we'll get that fired up, and then that way folks that are interested in purchasing merch will be able to. and we'll add pieces in there as requested. These things kind of come up. I know there's a lot of interest, at least in the one Fox shirt that I had made up for NFT NYC. So I'll probably solicit more Foxes that are interested in having their Fox depicted on a shirt, that we can kind of push out there and sell. It's like a little bit more of a brand, branded merch, if you will, or what have you, for other Foxes. But definitely I'm interested in doing some more things like that. And yeah, I think that gives a pretty good wrap up for the week. So I certainly appreciate everyone coming out here. I'll keep it kind of shorter too. I know it's a Sunday. I know it's Father's Day. So hopefully everyone that is a father has a good Father's Day. And, we'll keep chatting in Discord. Look out for our missions coming up, our raid mission and our weekly missions that get started up in a little bit here. And we'll kind of go from there. So hopefully everyone has a great week. And if you're at NFT NYC, be sure to stop by, introduce yourself, and we'll kind of go from there. So have a good week, everyone.